again, everybody. Dave Brown here at ringside, about ready to go with another day of championship wrestling. Big card coming up. As usual, we have Ken Lucas, Rick Morton in here this week. They will be in a tag team match going against Buddy Wayne and David Oswald. And after that, we have a single match in which Koko Ware will be taking on Bub Smith. The Irwins will be here. Dr. Bill Irwin and, of course, his brother Scott Irwin, who we saw a week or so ago as he joined Dr. Bill Irwin. They will be here as a tag team today, going against Tom Maley and David McGee. Beautiful Bobby Eaton will be taking on David Price in a single match, and it'll be Larry Latham teaming with Danny Davis, more about that in a moment, going against Tommy and Eddie Gilbert in an expiration of time tag team match. The Latham-Davis match, interesting because a few weeks ago, Latham and Davis had their differences. Dr. Bill Irwin and Larry Latham were wrestling together as partners, but when Scott Irwin, Dr. Bill's brother, came into the picture, he dropped Larry Latham, and Latham and Danny Davis have worked out their differences, I understand. They will be wrestling as a tag team today. We're going to be back with the opening match, Buddy Wayne, David Oswald against Ken Lucas and Rick Morton, coming up in just a moment. Got a tag team match coming up here. We're waiting for everyone to arrive, and while we're waiting for them to get into the ring, I do want to bring someone out right here. Lance taking the day off. He will be back with us next week, but since he's not going to be here today, see we get somebody to kind of help us out with the commentary. I'd like to bring out the king, Jerry Lawler, coming out right now. Jerry, come on over, sir.
Hi, Dave.
How are you? Have a seat here. I'd like for you to join us for the program and make whatever comment you feel you'd like to during all of this as we take a look at the matches.
This is great. In other words, I'm taking Lance's place.
Well, kind of, I suppose.
Is he going to be here at all today?
No, he will not be here today. He'll be back next week.
Well, he called. He was on his way. He's trying to get here, but he stuck his nose out the window, and the wind caught it, turned the car around, so he will be late. He may get here a little later. He's trying his best.
All right. We'll pass that message along to him. Everybody is climbing into the ring right now. Let's go with the official introductions for a one-fall 15-minute time limit match. Introducing at a total of 468 pounds on the left of the screen, from Jonesboro, Arkansas, David Oswald, his partner from Memphis, Tennessee, Buddy Wayne. Going against him, total weight of 414 pounds, from Las Vegas, Nevada, Ken Lucas. And from Nashville, Tennessee, Rick Morton. This is going to be a one-fall, 15-minute time limit match, and the referee is Jerry Calhoun. Let's see who's going to start. Looks like Oswald for his team and Kenny Lucas for his. The referee says ring the bell. We've done so, and Jerry, we are underway.
I'm surprised that Ken's even in it. Have you seen the top of Ken's head from last week?
No, I really haven't.
Well, you may get a chance if the camera picks it up or whatever. But when that Scott Irwin hit him with that boot, it laid the top of his head open. It's one of the worst gashes I've seen since I've been in wrestling.
I remember the incident well, no doubt about that. But Kenny's a battler. Boy, it's hard to keep Kenny down.
That guy was just sitting in the audience last week, right? That's what I heard.
Yeah, oh, that's true. The guy was sitting in the audience, and all of a sudden he jumped into the ring, and it turns out to be Dr. Bill Irwin's brother, Scott.
I thought it was your job to screen the crowds here, Dave.
No, sir. Tell you what, though. Strange situation. Boy, he's a big guy, too, this Scott Irwin. We're going to be looking at him a little later on. He'll be here with Dr. Bill Irwin in a tag team match. Ken Lucas back in after the tag by Rick Morton.
These guys are doing something really important in tag team wrestling, is keeping the fresh man in. We call it quick tags, tagging in and out, and the object is to keep a fresh man in and then keep your opponent in as long as he can possibly stay in, wear him down, so to speak.
Exactly. I can recall some of the great tag teams of the past, the interns, the assassins,
Lawler and White. Come on.
Lawler and White. They did indeed keep the fresh man in there, and they were championship wrestlers because of it. Buddy Wayne.
The wrestling book just went out the window.
Yeah, I think you're right. Buddy Wayne in there. Hey, he's grabbed by Ken Lucas over the corner. Whoa! Ken says, welcome to our side of the ring.
Slowed him down a little bit.
Yeah. Ken Lucas with Buddy Wayne on the mat. Buddy back up on one foot, one knee. We're 2 minutes into the action.
Took Ken over with a flying mare, and he still hung on to the arm lock there.
Got him off his feet, but only briefly. There's a tag made, and Rick Morton back in. You know, I think the quick tag you're talking about may be especially important to a team like Rick Morton and Ken Lucas. They are not the biggest tag team around.
That's right. When they go in there, they're almost always outweighed and undersized against their opponents, and you can make up for the lack of size with speed and agility, and that's what they do.
Buddy Wayne, there's some size right there. That telephone pole broad arm drove Rick Morton to the mat, but Rick, back on his feet, shoves Buddy Wayne into the turnbuckles. Oswald in after the tag. Morton. There's Oswald into the ropes, coming back off of there. He caught him in the midsection. We're 3 minutes into the action. David Oswald, Ken Lucas. Lucas to the corner. Here's Rick Morton back in.
You know, even though it doesn't look like it right now, but David Oswald is a young wrestler who's improving. He reminds me a lot of like Danny Davis. He just kind of came on the scene, and then like overnight, I mean, you know, he just every match he kept getting better and better, and all of a sudden he was up there in the main event. And David Oswald reminds me of this type of wrestler. He gets better and better. He hasn't won a lot of matches yet, but I bet the day will come when he'll turn things around like that.
I think you're probably right, because the kid's got a lot of desire. The only thing that we have a problem with on David Oswald is his disregard of the rules rather frequently, sometimes when that's to his advantage. But you're right, he's come a mighty long way in a short time. Buddy Wayne against Rick Morton. Buddy's got his hand wrapped around Rick's throat, if I'm not mistaken, choking him.
He's choking him when the referee's behind him and pulling the hair when the referee's around front.
Oswald back in. Oh, Morton runs into Oswald. Oswald off to the elbow but misses. We've just passed 4 minutes in this match. 4 minutes gone. Oswald into the ropes. Rick Morton waiting for him as he came flying off of there. There's not much you can do when you're bouncing into those ropes. You're going to come right back. Atomic knee drop by Rick Morton. 1, 2. Buddy Wayne is there. He broke the cover at the count of 2. I thought Rick had it. He's to the corner, tag to Ken Lucas. Oswald off the ropes again. Ken Lucas waiting for it. Kenny picks him up. Flips him right back down. Cover. 1. Count of 2. Oswald breaks it at the 2 count. Buddy Wayne coming back in after the tag.
That's where Kenny should have tried to take the man back to his corner, keep Oswald in there as long as he could, but he got a little close to their corner, and Buddy Wayne got the tag. Now they're doing the same thing. They're trying to keep their fresh man in, tagging in and out.
There's Kenny, gets back to his corner, gets the tag on Rick Morton. Yeah, both of them in there.
I don't know who the legal man is right now.
Yeah, it's Oswald. Oswald's the man who should be in there. Drop kick by Rick Morton. We're 5.5 minutes into the action. Oswald into the rope. Ken Lucas comes after him, going with a sleeper hold. Rick Morton releasing the ring, keeping Buddy Wayne from jumping in there and interfering.
You got him, I'm afraid.
I believe you're right. Look out, Buddy Wayne stepping through the ropes. Morton is there to send him back. Referee Jerry Calhoun checking. We're waiting for a signal from him, and he says that's it. So the sleeper hold by Ken Lucas, one of Kenny's favorites, as a matter of fact. He does it well. He used it on Oswald. Ooh. Wakes him up. And the win goes to Ken Lucas and Rick Morton over Buddy Wayne and David Oswald. Time on the match was 5 minutes, 51 seconds, 5:51. Again, the winners, Ken Lucas and Rick Morton. And,
teach me to talk about how good Oswald is.
When you get caught in a sleeper hold, there is not much you can do, especially when, as Morton was doing, keeping Buddy Wayne away from the action. Tell you what, we're not going to take a break here. We're just going to keep the action going and bring them in for a single match. Here comes Big Bub Smith.
The killer.
Jackson, Tennessee. Bub Smith is here. Yes, sir. We see you, Bub. Yeah. The fabulous, what does it say on the back of the shirt? The fabulous killer Bub Smith.
Fabulous killer Bub Smith. It says on the front, what does it say on the front? The killer rocks on.
Killer rocks on.
You might have to change that to the killer rolls on.
Possibility, too. This is going to be, okay, Bub, it's a one-fall, 15-minute time limit match. One fall, 15-minute time limit. Introducing from Jackson, Tennessee at 260 pounds, Bub Smith. And going against him from Union City, Tennessee, 221 pounds, Koko Ware. This is a one-fall, 15-minute time limit match. Referee, Jerry Calhoun. Boy, I tell you, Bub, he's
said
big.
He's back in town. I said it's good to see his back.
Yeah.
Especially after seeing his front.
Bub's a big one at 260. Going against perhaps the best drop kick in these parts today in Koko Ware. He has got a terrific drop kick that if he gets it on you, he's going to put you on the mat.
Roll him right over there.
Yeah.
You know, Bub was hit by a car recently.
Really?
They asked the driver why he did it, and he said he didn't have enough gas to go around him. He's made an amazing comeback there.
Koko gets Bub off his feet. That's a lot of weight. Koko Ware took him over down to the mat. Koko bar in the left arm. Back down to one knee, Bub Smith. Koko Ware hanging on to him. You know, Jerry, maybe you could fill me in on this. I've always suspected that a guy the size of Bub Smith, once you got him off his feet, it was difficult for him to get back on his feet. Is that a big advantage when you're going with someone of that size?
Well, it just depends. There are a lot of guys like there are a lot of wrestlers around, the size of Bub. Some of them are big. Some of them are just fat. I mean, there are guys that when they're just fat or out of shape or not in good shape, when you get them off their feet like that, it is to your advantage. But then there are other guys who are as big or bigger than Bub who are just as agile as say, Koko Ware. I can remember in one case in point, Phil Hickerson.
Yeah.
I mean, Phil was as agile as any wrestler you're ever going to see, and he was just as dangerous on the mat, standing up, any way you want to get him. I don't have a lot of experience with Bub in his particular case. I think it's a situation where, Bub doesn't wrestle full time. He has another job and probably doesn't get to stay in as good a shape as he'd like. And so, in his case, it may be to an advantage to get him on the mat.
He's on his feet now. Koko Ware. Boy, Koko is, he's really developed, too, in the last, I don't know, how long has Koko been wrestling? A couple of years now, I guess. Boy, he has really come a long way. Fine wrestler. There's a good move there. He gets Bub in the head scissors.
They tell me, I don't know a whole lot about Koko either, but they tell me that he was a really good athlete in high school and everything up around Union City, Tennessee. So when they had the matches up there and Koko goes back home, that, the kids in the classroom all know him and remember him and everything, but he was a great football player and everything there in Union City.
Athletic background, of course, you got to have it, and sure enough, with the high school background, it's been good for Koko Ware in professional wrestling. Koko around behind Big Bub Smith. Oh, he picked him up, got him off his feet. Didn't pick him up too far, but he did get him off his feet, and that's the purpose of it. 3 minutes, 6 seconds gone in a one-fall, 15-minute time limit match.
Koko's the kind of guy that's easily overlooked. I mean, he's not a loud talker or anything like that. He's got he's just kind of a quiet, kind of a shy guy, and he just minds his own business. But when you have that kind of a quiet personality like that, a lot of times the people don't pay that much attention to you. But he's just been in there plugging along, like you say, getting better all the time. And one of these days, he's going to be a really top wrestler. Look at that move.
Off the turnbuckle, Smith down on the mat, shoulders down, count of 3, and it's all over.
He caught him with a drop kick off the second rope, didn't he?
Yeah, boy, incredible. As he sprung off that second rope, got those feet out there with a drop kick, put Big Bub Smith on the mat, and immediately went for him with his shoulders pinned to count of 3, and the killer is back on his feet, but he has been defeated by Koko Ware in 3 minutes, 49 seconds.
Killer will have to rock on back to the dressing room and wonder what happened.
Well, I tell you, win for Koko Ware over Bub Smith. Again, the time on it, 3 minutes, 49 seconds. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with you in just a moment with more wrestling action.
Wrestling fans here in Louisville Tuesday night, a big card of action at Louisville Gardens. One of the matches, Bill Dundee and Tommy Marlin taking on Tommy Rich and Jimmy Hart. Bill? You said that right, Michael St. John. Now, this ain't really a match as far as I'm concerned. I have got one thing to do, and that's to keep Tommy Rich occupied while Thomas Marlin beats the tar out of Jimmy Hart. Now, Tommy Rich, you are the most low-down. I wish I could say it on TV. Now, everybody that saw it knows what you did, Rich. Now, I'm not there to wrestle you. I'm just there to keep you from getting involved with Thomas Marlin, because it's the snake we want. Rich, I can beat you, and you know it, and so does the snake, and so does everybody else out there. So I'm just going to tie you up in the corner, Jack, and we're going to kill Jimmy Hart.
Tommy, I know you've got some things you would like to say about this situation, too.
This is a very important. I hope Tommy is looking in this camera right now, because, Tommy, the friendship's over, son. It come to an end last Tuesday night. You have made a fool out of me for 4 straight weeks, son. Well, it's all over. I'm going to have the surprise of your life for you Tuesday night, son. When you get in the ring, I want you to look at me and talk about it and think about it. And then I want you to look out that ringside, son. Your mama's going to be sitting there. That's right, son. Tommy Rich's mother's going to be sitting at ringside so she can see him get what he deserves and has deserved for a long time. Friendship's over, son. Don't come to the ring this Tuesday night, get on the mic and say we're friends, because I'm telling you right now, son, the friendship's over. It's had it.
Well, wrestling fans, that's going to be a great main event at Louisville Gardens this coming Tuesday night.
I just want to add one little thing. Now, I've known Peggy Rich a long time, brother, and even she don't like you, Rich. I don't know what's got into you, brother. I don't know whether you're smoking funny cigarettes or you're taking some kind of pills. I don't really know, and from now on, I don't really care, Jack. But you done gone goofy. Thomas Marlin fined you $1,000. That wasn't enough. He was going to whip your fanny, but you had the snake jump in to help you. Rich, it's all over for your brother, and it's all over for you, Hart, because we're coming to get you, and especially you, Hart, because I don't like you. Tommy Rich, you and mine, and that's a promise.
In the ring right now, Tom Maley and David McGee. And their opponents should be arriving very shortly. It's going to be the Irwin brothers. Scott Irwin will be here with Dr. Bill wrestling as a tag team. Here they come. Dr. Bill Irwin leading the way. As they step up onto the ring apron. Boy, this Scott's a big one, too. This is going to be a one-fall, 15-minute time limit match. Introducing at a total of 400 pounds from Memphis, Tennessee, Tom Maley. And from Louisville, Kentucky, David McGee. Going against them at a total weight of 476 pounds from Duluth, Minnesota, Dr. Bill Irwin and his brother Scott Irwin. One fall, 15-minute time limit match. Referees Jerry Calhoun. Boy, the size on the Irwin side. Yeah.
Okay, ready, Dave. You're up. You're going to be a lot of
Dr. Bill Irwin out on the apron. In the ring, his brother Scott against David McGee. McGee has put on some weight in the last few months. He's up to about 210 now. But still, no match in size. Scott Irwin.
You know, this Dr. Bill Irwin, his looks are deceptive. From a little bit of a distance, he really doesn't look that big, but when you get right up next to the guy, he's one of those, you know, he's not the big muscular type body, but he's one of the big, I guess you call a raw bone type guy. He's big. Once you get right there beside him, I guess he's maybe 6'2 and a half, 6'3. And like I say, his brother's even bigger.
Absolutely. Deceptive, I think, is the word for the size of Irwin. Irwin, of course, with the flying feet. Boy, he's tough when those feet get moving. David McGee's head into the top turnbuckle. Irwin follows with a forearm. There's that foot through the midsection as McGee came flying off the ropes.
Get that pretty one in there,
Got his shoulder in the side of his neck that time. Here's Scott Irwin coming in, the big guy.
You know, I can sympathize with guys like David McGee. It wasn't that long ago. I can work at a grocery store through the week and come over here on Saturday mornings, and boy, I was so excited putting the tights on, then get in the ring against two monsters like the Interns or Don and Al Green or something like that. And I knew where I was for about 30 seconds. After that, the match may have lasted 10 minutes, but I didn't know I was in there.
How well I remember. However, that's a good point that guys like McGee, Tom Maley, it's discouraging sometimes for the fans to see these kids get in here, but they are gathering experience. And sitting right next to me in the form of Jerry the King Lawler is a good example that it can be done. Maley.
He is clubbing this kid to death.
Yeah, I don't know if Maley feels that way right now, though. I'll tell you. Scott Irwin smacking him with that.
That attitude that Bill Irwin has, he's saying they don't have a chance. Well, that's where he is wrong. Even though, it may look like a mismatch. Anytime you got an opponent in there, he's got a chance. All it takes is to get overconfident, think your opponent is completely beaten, and you slip up for that 1 second, and it's all it takes to get something like a roll-up or a sunset flip or something like that. And what you'll find in a situation like that is where two guys like the Irwin brothers run their mouth up there, and the fans don't like it, the referee doesn't like it, and that may be a point where if a guy ever does get him down, the referee might be inclined to give him kind of a quick count there. They find themselves on the short end of a match they thought they were going to win.
Certainly can happen. Scott Irwin. Now Dr. Bill Irwin working on Tom Maley. One fall, 15-minute time limit match. We're about 3 minutes into it. For Maley and David McGee, probably feels like a lot longer than that. There's Irwin with a cover. 1, 2, 3. He got it. Well, the win for the Irwins, 3 minutes, 32 seconds the time on it.
Yeah, that's unnecessary here. Oh, my gosh.
Hey, Lucas and Morton have just hit the ring. Ken Lucas, Rick Morton. We run the Irwins out of here. Boy, Bill Irwin especially said a couple of times, hey, no contest up here. We've got this one won. And then after the match is over and they've got a win under their belts, they keep pounding on McGee and Maley. They threw McGee out of the ring and went to work on Tom Maley. Oh, Scott Irwin down here on the floor, kicking David McGee. Lucas and Morton. Boy, I tell you, Lucas and Morton in here to help David McGee and Tom Maley. Company. Now, come on, Jimmy. Get over to the ring and leave us alone at the table over here. Hart and Bobby Eaton making their appearance at ringside. This is going to be a one-fall, 15-minute time limit match. One-fall, 15-minute time limit. Introducing from Memphis at 197 pounds, David Price, and going against him from Huntsville, Alabama, 227 pounds, beautiful Bobby Eaton with his manager, Jimmy Hart.
No one seemed to know his name.
All right. Referee called for the bell. Eaton was expressing some concern about gentleman seated here at the table with me.
I was hoping Hart would leave his seat a little closer to us here.
Yeah, Hart moved down the way there.
Talked to him long distance.
Eaton, heavy favorite in this match, no doubt about it, against the youngster David Price.
You know, Hart likes to compare him to me or whatever. He's just looking for himself. Anybody that'll make him a dollar. You know, he latched onto Ellering. He tried to have Valiant there for a while. Now he's leeching off of Ridge and Bobby Eaton here. He's the kind of guy that he's looking for a meal ticket. That's all Hart's doing. Now, Eaton is a pretty good wrestler, but he's an airhead. Have you ever tried to do an interview with the guy?
No, I never have, as a matter of fact.
That's because he can't. One of these, that's the kind of guy it takes to listen to Jimmy Hart.
Yeah, well, you may be right there too. We had discussed the Jimmy Hart situation, and that's right. Wherever the buck is to be made, that's where you'll find Jimmy Hart sitting in the corner, if the wrestler will listen to it. Bobby Eaton.
Whenever my leg gets well, I'll put that jerk singing back in beer joints where I found him.
Bobby Eaton with a headlock on young David Price. I think he's doing a little hair pulling, too, when the referee is not right in front of him.
Look at that face on Eaton. What is he going to say? Beautiful Bobby Eaton?
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's Jimmy Hart's turn, not ours.
it'd have to be.
Ooh. Those shoelaces right down the side of his face. Price bouncing off the turnbuckle back down into the ring. Eaton back to the rope. Drops with the leg. Eaton checking with Hart. Hart said don't pin him. Don't pin him yet.
Hart trying to get in there and pin him.
Yeah. Price, runs into the knee. Doubles him up, down on the mat. Bobby Eaton again. He doesn't go for the pin. He picks him up in the air. Body slam. Eaton heads for the corner. Brings across the way, and now he goes for the cover. 1, 2, and 3. All over.
You got to do an interview with him?
Yeah. I'm going to go over there and I'm trying to keep away from you over here at the table. Conversation over here. So let me run over to the other side.
Okay. And there's Hart and beautiful Bobby Eaton.
Wrestling fans want to remind you of a big card of action coming up in Ratcliffe, Kentucky, Thanksgiving night. Handsome Jimmy Valiant will take on Dr. Bill Irwin. Carl Fergie and Robert Gibson will take on Larry Latham and the Angel, plus Koko Ware on the card against Jimmy Kitt. They'll also be wrestling on Thursday, December 4th in Linville, Indiana, and on Friday, December 5th in Crofton, Kentucky. And Louisville Tuesday night, first match, Tommy Gilbert against Dr. Bill Irwin. Second match, tag team action, Carl Fergie and Robert Gibson against Roger Kirby and Guy Mitchell. Billy Robinson will take on the Angel. Tony Charles takes on Bobby Eaton with Jimmy Hart, his manager. And in tag team action, Bill Dundee and Tommy Marlin in that big grudge match against Wildfire Tommy Rich and Jimmy Hart. All that coming up at the Louisville Gardens this coming Tuesday night, and you don't want to miss that big main event. Again, that's a grudge match as superstar Bill Dundee and Tommy Marlin team up against Wildfire Tommy Rich and Jimmy Hart in that ring. So wrestling fans, we want to see you all there at the Louisville Gardens this coming Tuesday night for this big wrestling card. That's Tuesday night, Louisville Gardens.
There's Danny Davis. Larry Latham, his partner, moving up to the ring, and the Gilberts have arrived, too. This is going to be an expiration of time match. Team with the most falls to their credit when the time expires will be the winners of the match. And as far as official introductions go, at a total weight of 448 pounds from Louisiana, Larry Latham, and his partner from Jackson, Tennessee, Danny Davis. Sergeant Davis. All right, Danny. Total of 430 pounds on the opposite side of the ring. The Gilberts, Tommy and Eddie from Lexington, Tennessee. Expiration of time match. The referee is Jerry Calhoun.
I guess he told you, didn't he?
I guess so. Davis certainly hasn't changed his attitude anyway.
Well, you know, I see that Latham may be a little smarter than I gave him credit for because he has gotten away from Jimmy Hart. You know, there a couple of weeks ago he had teamed up with Jimmy Hart and Bill Irwin, and now I see that he's back with Danny Davis, which, well, I don't know. That's about 6 to 1, half dozen the other.
You're right. There's not a lot of difference, but
he saw through Hart, but he hadn't seen through Davis yet, maybe.
Well, he's back with Davis. Davis, as a manager of Latham and his partner, Wayne Ferris, had him in championship matches, no doubt about it, as the Bombers. Latham wrestling with Davis as his partner right now. Latham in the ring against Eddie Gilbert.
I've never been able to understand how a guy that looks so much like Santa Claus can be so mean, do you?
He does look a lot like pictures of Santa Claus.
It's deceptive in the ring when you're wrestling him, too. You know, you have a tendency to feel sorry for him or either not think he's going to be quite so mean.
I never thought of it that way, but yeah, I guess it would be deceptive as an opponent.
Keep expecting him to say ho, 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 or something like that.
Leave him a glass of milk and some cookies or something.
Offering that, he'll punch you right in the nose.
Yeah, he's a tough one. Larry Latham. Eddie Gilbert takes it down to the mat. Latham immediately starts pointing to his hair. Hey, referee, how about the hair pulling, he says. Latham back up on his feet to the corner, tags Danny Davis. Eddie Gilbert. That arm and hammer up behind him.
And Davis is a scrapper. He'll never give up.
He kicks out of the head scissors. Back on his feet. Yeah, back to the corner.
Conference call.
Little conference. When they have a conference like that, you wrestle a lot of tag team matches. What generally is going on during that sort of conference?
Talk about where you're going to eat after the match.
No, really isn't.
No.
Strategy, I'm sure. But,
yeah, what you're usually doing, especially in a tag team match, is trying to work out. Well, I would say trying to work out something where maybe your opponent grabs a leg or something like that, or either ask him if he sees something that you're missing in there. Which obviously that conference didn't have much success, did it?
That's very true.
You should have talked about where they were going to eat.
Danny Davis down here on the floor. Larry Latham in the ring, but he steps out onto the apron. Now here's Davis coming back in. I guess Davis is the legal man in the ring. Referee Jerry Calhoun is right there saying it's okay. I guess Davis thrown out of there and Latham jumped in. I kind of missed a bit of the action there. Anyway, it's Davis against Eddie Gilbert.
Nice quick hair pull there. You got Gilbert down on the mat.
Eddie. Back up on his knees.
Somebody in the crowd just said, "Shut up, Santa Claus."
There's the tag, and here comes Larry Latham.
I don't think he likes to be called that either.
Oh, he doesn't like to be called Santa Claus?
I don't think so.
I'll keep that in mind. Latham with Eddie Gilbert right in the center of the ring. Eddie trying to work his way back to the corner. He's done it. Good move by Eddie Gilbert. He was able to inch his way back toward the corner. Get a tag on Tommy Gilbert. Tommy with the foot, the forearm. Latham over to the corner. I thought he was going to tag Danny Davis, but he grabs him, holds on to him. Looks to say, hey, what is happening?
Well, I thought Tommy might have thrown his knee out of place there for a second. I think he went for a knee drop and saw the man move at the last second, had to try to readjust, and lots of times that's the way you can either sprain an ankle or throw your knee out of place. Dangerous tactic.
Gilbert, both in there. They've got him. Tommy with Sergeant Davis. Eddie with Larry Latham. Tommy waiting in the corner. The forearm. Latham hits the mat. 1, 2, 2 count. That's all he gets. Latham, a tough one to pin. He's tough to hold down for the 3 count. Many times we've seen him when we thought his opponents had the match won, and Latham would break the cover. Danny Davis, double forearm as he comes in after the tag.
You know, Tommy Gilbert's a guy that I've always said if he had been blessed with just a little more size, or I guess it wouldn't even take that much more. But this guy could be he's world champion material. He's always been one of the, I guess, determination or whatever. Never give up, never say die, and tough as a nail. And I think it's just been that little bit of a lack of size or whatever that's kept him out of the world championship caliber of wrestlers. You won't find a harder man to beat than Tommy Gilbert.
Tommy and Eddie both working on Danny Davis. Tommy comes off those ropes. He drops right on Davis's ankle, the left ankle. Now he grabs the toe hold and try to add to his advantage if he can. Good move. Also notice Tommy's got his left foot on Danny Davis's right boot. Keeps him from being kicked back into the ropes or down off onto the mat, right?
But you just let that go and see what happens.
He got kicked, that's right. Tommy, leg drop. Puts Davis on the mat. Davis just out of reach of Larry Latham. He got
I don't think Latham was really straining to try to reach him either.
Latham did get the tag, though. He's in there now. 6 minutes gone. 6 minutes gone in the expiration of time match. First fall action here.
You see Davis rubbing his knee. That hold that Tommy had on him, which you call a toe hold, actually puts pressure against your knee and almost pushes it out, the joint sideways there. It's really quite a painful hold, and it'll affect you throughout the rest of the match.
Tommy working the headlock, the face lock. Davis cheering Latham on from the corner. Tommy just hanging on. Oops, Latham picks him up off his feet, and there's a body slam. That's one way to break the hold. 7 minutes. 7 minutes gone in the first fall of an expiration of time match. Eddie Gilbert back in after the tag. Tommy got body slammed, went to the corner and tagged Eddie. That's another wise move. A lot of times a tag team partner, I've noticed, Jerry, will make the mistake of trying to stay in there too long, trying to get even almost with the opponent instead of going to the corner.
You said it right. That's a mistake. One of the worst things you can do in a wrestling match is lose your cool, lose your temper, get really mad to where you're doing things out of instinct rather than thinking them through. Because that's the way you make a mistake. Like you said, stay in there too long, and whether you like to admit it or not, you're getting tired, and your opponent's keeping a fresh man in there, and you're trying to get even, and it usually doesn't work to your advantage.
Eddie Gilbert and Danny Davis. Whoa. These guys battling each other. Ooh. 1 for 1. Here comes Latham in. Davis holds Eddie Gilbert up. Latham caught him with that right fist in the rib cage. 8 minutes gone. Eddie battling. He's on his knees. He caught a right hand in the side of the head. Davis. Right hand to the midsection. Eddie Gilbert rolls out of the way as Davis was coming off the ropes. He was going to drop with that elbow. Davis into the ropes. Eddie waits for it. Tommy. Oh, what a move. Knee lift. 1, 2. It's all over for the first fall.
That's the first time I've ever seen that done.
Wow. That's teamwork.
Yeah, Eddie shot him in the ropes there and doubled him over with that fist to the midsection, and as soon as he bent over, then Tommy caught him with that knee lift. Down and up and down again. Great timing there. Tommy and Eddie Gilbert as Davis is greeted by that knee of Tommy Gilbert, and in 8 minutes, 43 seconds, the first fall is over. The win goes to Tommy and Eddie Gilbert. Latham and Danny Davis are going to be looking to be back in here in the second fall to try to even it up. Still trying to figure out what happened on that move, I think. Yeah, wow. Vicious knee lift. Well, we're going to take a break. We'll be back. I think we got time left to get the second fall started. We'll have it for you in just a moment. His brother, Zach. Dave, would you leave your family business to a brother named Zach? I don't know. We're going to be going back up in the ring now. Davis and Latham are both back. The Gilberts are back in it. Did he say his brother's Zach? Yeah. Underway here. Boy, I tell you what. First fall of this one went 8 minutes, 43 seconds. It was won by Tommy Gilbert. It was one of the toughest knee lifts that you're ever going to see. That was a good move by Danny Davis. Yes, a wrestling move. Yeah. Hanging on to that arm, too. Gilbert. Boy, that was a good move, but Davis hung on. Yeah. He maintained the hold on that left arm. Tough one to shake. And knee lift may have made him mad. Larry Latham. Gilbert drops him off his feet down to the mat. Had the shoulders down briefly, not long enough even for the referee to get there to start the count, though. Tommy's not able to get that arm free. There, he did it. Referee gets in between them. Fist doubled, and Jerry Calhoun wanted to stop the exchange of punches before they started. Ah, get out of the way, Calhoun. Let them punch it out. That's what we like to see. Tommy gives Santa a big red nose. Then. Gilbert ain't going nowhere. Come on, Calhoun. Latham has a little hair pulling. Brings Tommy down to the mat. Tommy on his feet. Using a fist, Latham pulling the hair, Tommy back to the corner. The tag is made on Eddie Gilbert, and Eddie holding Latham up. And boy, is Tommy smiling. Here comes Davis. Oh, look out. Hey, Eddie.
Moved him around. Davis hit Latham. Eddie Gilbert with the headlock on Larry Latham, Danny Davis. Boy, what a surprise for him.
Latham may be back with Hart next week.
After that punch, he just might be. 2 minutes gone in the second fall. First fall, along with 8:43, went to the Gilbert. Latham, Davis have to come up with a victory here to pull back even. The referee.
That's a good move by Latham and Davis right there. What they're doing, even when their opponent doesn't do anything like hair pulling, they complain to the referee, tell him that he did. Now that puts the referee in a position, if he didn't actually see the move, he's got to take one of them's word for it, and he's not supposed to take either one of them. So what they're doing is setting him up for later on when they pull hair and he doesn't see it, then they're going to say, well, you didn't believe him, or, why don't you believe me? So they're using these little maneuvers throughout the match to set themselves up later on as the thing goes along.
Does that also get the referee thinking hair pulling? Is that the predominant thing for the next couple of minutes?
He does, but see that also works both ways. I mean, he's gonna be watching for it, but then he's gonna be suspecting both teams of it.
Latham, lower leg. Tag made. Danny Davis coming in. Davis, boy, holding on. Eddie Gilbert reaching for the corner, but he's a long way from the tag on his dad, Tommy Gilbert. Eddie trying to power his way out of it. And
there's that hair pulling.
There's the hair pulling. Latham firing that right hand to the midsection.
These guys are smooth. There's no way for the referee to see it. Now all he's got to do is take somebody's word for it, whether they tagged or whether they pulled the hair.
That's right. Well, he's not going to take their word for it, is he? He's going to make Davis come back in here. Davis stepped out, slapped that turnbuckle like, yes, sir. That was a tag.
Yeah.
It's all over. But the referee in that case ruled, no tag.
There it is.
Back in there. One. Small package.
He almost
can't make it 6. Larry Latham with a foot breaks it up. 4.5 minutes gone. Second fall of this expiration of time match. And boy, I love expiration of time matches. Sometimes you only have time for one fall. Sometimes you have time for 4 or 5. As long as there's time remaining, we're going to have wrestling action for it. Both of them shaken a bit by that.
See, there was one of those instances we're talking about. Instead of Eddie rushing in there after he got him off and threw him in the corner, he should have went straight to his opponent and called time. Eddie's been in there too long now. They've gotten him worn down. He should take his first opportunity to try to tag out.
Good point. Get the fresh man in there. Tommy is watching over in the corner. Little cheerleading. Latham's got a... No. Eddie's got a foot over the bottom rope. The count stops at 2. Well, I thought maybe Latham had some sort of modified sleeper hold he had put on him for a moment there, but...
I think he was just trying to get a second win.
Eddie up in the air. Danny Davis body slams him. Drops with a knee. Count of 1, 2. 2 counts, all they get. Eddie battling back. Now, as he starts for the corner, Larry Latham grabs him and keeps him from getting over there in the tag on Tommy.
As soon as he starts to battle back, that freshman's right in there to stop him.
6 minutes gone. Larry Latham, Eddie Gilbert. Eddie drives him into the turnbuckle. Starts for the corner, but Danny Davis after the tag. Stops him about 4 feet short. Count of 2 by Davis is all he got. Eddie needs to get that tag on Tommy over in the corner. Davis gets his tag. Here's Latham coming in. He just about tackled him. He grabbed the leg to keep him from getting over to the corner.
They got Eddie in serious trouble. He needs the tag back.
Larry Latham. As Eddie tied up, they're trying to keep him away from the tag on Tommy, and they have been able to do it for a couple of minutes here. 7 minutes gone. 7 minutes gone in the second fall. They're pulling by Latham.
Did Davis walk down that apron and distract the referee, and Latham's right there watching every move.
Tommy watched as long as he could, tried to come in to help out, but he's sent back to the corner, and rightly so by referee Jerry Calhoun. Body slam by Davis. Eddie moves out of the way. Head for the corner, Eddie. He was, but Latham grabbed him before he could get there.
Davis's knees are taking quite a pounding in this match. May have a limp for a few weeks.
He's missed a couple of times, hasn't he? Eddie, put his leg. There's the tag. Here comes Tommy. Davis jumps in there. Tommy having to take on both of them. Tommy with that right fist drives Davis down to the floor. Back to work on Latham. Latham, the legal man in the ring. Oh, Tommy runs into Davis. Davis out on the apron. Latham picks Tommy up. Backbreaker across the knee. Davis off the rope. Oh.
Right in the throat again.
1, 2, 3. And that's going to wrap it up for the second fall. We're back even. 1 fall apiece. Tommy and Eddie won the first fall, but Tommy had that vicious knee lift, but just as vicious here.
Ooh, he came up that second rope, drove his foot right into Tommy's throat, and then that puts his head right down the back of his head right into the mat.
Followed with the cover, the count of 3, and that's it. Davis and Latham come away with the win here in the second fall. 1 fall apiece.
Well, that's what's disheartening when you've wrestled for, say, 20 minutes and you wind up fixing to start a new match all over again.
That's right. Got to start right back even, and that's what they'll have to do in the third fall. We're going to check time. We'll be back with you in just a moment. Stay with us.
Louisville Gardens Tuesday night on tap, that big grudge match. A superstar Bill Dundee and Tommy Marlin go up against Wildfire Tommy Rich and Jimmy Hart. Tommy, Mr. Rich, I know you and Mr. Hart have a lot.
Just don't blow your breath in my face, man. I'm going to tell you a little story. 2 weeks ago, right there in Louisville Gardens, Thomas Marlin, that's who I was wrestling, Jimmy Hart and myself, we had us a little plan before we went out. We said, well, let's go out there and just see how dumb that Thomas Marlin really is. Let's see if he'll go for this. Let me go out there and see if he'll shake my hand. Well, sure enough, old Bubble Eyes went for it. Old Bubble Eyes, boy, he took the story hook, line, and sinker, St. John's. I had it all laid out. I went out and made my little speech, boy. Old Thomas, he was about to cry, boy. He was about to cry, And so we stood there. I stuck my hand out, and he bowed up at me, doubled them fists and bowed up at me. I said, oh, no, Thomas, I don't want none of you. He shook my hand, turned his back. That's when it was all over. Jimmy Hart and myself put the boots to him. Tuesday night, though, he wants some more. He didn't have enough. So I'm going to let my man loose Tuesday night, too, on him. Dundee was hollering, he's going to hold me back. Well, Dundee, that might be more of a job than you're thinking of, too, because Dundee had to whip you 6 or 7 times, and I might just hold you back and let old Jimmy loose on Thomas Marlin. Yes, sir, we're going to have some fun.
I told him going to the ring, I said, there's no fool like an old fool, man.
Boy, that's the truth, too.
Perfect in it.
Hey, for the people that didn't see it, St. John, it was great. You just wouldn't have believed, man. I mean, he took the story, hook, line, and sinker, man. It was unreal. You heard enough. You heard enough. Well, go on out of here. Get lost, Jack. Thomas Marlin, Bill Dundee, Tuesday night, Louisville, Kentucky. Jimmy Hart and myself. I'm going to let him loose, and when he gets mad, Daddy, he can take care of business. Beautiful and myself been showing him some stuff. Tuesday night, Dundee, Marlin. We're coming at you.
Well, we do not have time for a third fall. Time has expired, so with one fall apiece, Jerry, it is going to be a draw, and that's the way it goes into the record books. Tell you, some vicious action at the end of both the first fall and the second fall.
We had a third fall.
No third fall.
You're right.
Just no
there
time
was no
for
third fall.
it was the second fall.
I'm confused.
That was
Each won, didn't it?
That's right. Each one won one.
That's why I'm not here very often. Well, handsome Jimbo.
Handsome Jimmy Valiant.
My late brother.
Yeah, well, the show's just about over. Jimmy.
Missed the show, baby. I got my limo double parked out there, baby. Double meter. Hey, it don't matter about bread, does it? Huh? You gonna pick up the tab, ain't you, Dave Brown? Woo! Let's see. I do, Kingfish.
Jimmy, the
Pretty good,
show's
Hanson.
about over. Glad you stopped by
You
here.
got your boots and
Oh,
everything?
man, Dave, my boots, brother, my boots.
A little late.
This, brother. Dig it. Woo! Let's dance.
Bring those next week in time and wrestle.
We're all out of time. We got to go. Lance will be back with us next week. Thanks, Jerry. Till next week, Dave Brown saying bye-bye, everybody.
The announcers on this program are selected and paid by parties other than this station, namely the promoters of championship wrestling.